Hello, for those who do not know me, excuse me. My name is DeMichael Washington, and I am a personal trainer, coach, educator, um, counselor, in a sense. I say if you're ever dealing with kids, there is some type of counseling skills you have to have. Um, and when people ask me my occupation, I can say those things, but honestly, I normally just say I'm a servant. I'm a servant of the next generation. A day for me, um, it's a lot. It's a lot. Sometimes I forget how much it is, but you know, I'm blessed to say that because I'm doing what I love. I'm doing what I love. I'm with kids. I'm impacting the next generation. I'm teaching the things that I've learned over the years to them, and they're learning it at a rapid rate. The ones that want to be better, be someone other than the normal. From training to coaching to just involve myself around kids. Summer, school year, kids, and it really is a blessing. It's teaching me so much about myself, about patience, about why we all are here, and that's why we do it. So yeah, when people normally ask me, what do I do for a living? I tell them I'm just a father. Not really. But like I said before, I work with kids. So when you're working with kids, you have more than one title, more role to help them grow as people, as the next generation, a good citizen. And believe me, they need all the help that they can get. Yeah, so I definitely had a lot of help growing up. Male figures in my life to kind of get into that next level, and almost at every stage there was like an addition to the team of what I call it. Every young person needs someone older, more experienced to kind of help mold them to the person that God is calling them to be. We just live in a world where, of course that's the father's responsibility, but there's a big lack in that area as fathers. But going back to it, that's where that's why I was able to accomplish the things that I was able to accomplish. It's because of those investment of men that took the time to help me reach that next level. Like every young person who needs someone to teach them, the responsibilities of the next level, you also need that person that's under you to help grow you into that person everybody's called to be. And that person for me was my little brother, Jordan, who has autism but is very functional. And he's a real blessing to our family because he generates so much joy through his innocence and love, and the way he wraps it up and delivers it is you can't hate that guy. But he gave me so much patience, and just because I knew he was special. Something about him, I just had a feeling of this guy's meant to do something amazing, and you know, he needs some help, just like anybody else in this life. And you know, for me, growing up, one little part of my past is I was that guy that needed help, and for a long time, there was no you know, emergency hotline I could call. You know, not to say family was there, but at most times they didn't know what was really going on. So, you know, he is probably my number one reason why I deal with kids, and I love kids the way I do. And I really do appreciate those moments. Though they were tough, but they helped me understand, like I said, life a little bit more in depth. Well, the most important lesson that I try to integrate within my training is life lessons. Like, over the years, I've learned that sports has a lot of life lessons that if you apply them correctly, you can be successful also in life as you were within your athletic career. And, you know, part of it is just being patient. Sometimes it's just being willing to listen, or being willing to take criticism. And if you have those things within your life, you can apply them to the real world, the career professions, and be very successful. Because most of the time within those areas, not a lot of people are doing the basics. And if you have the basics, that's only going to elevate you more. And I will hope that you would just take that and grow with it, and become more than, you know, what you started off with. So, you know, I tell my kids, you know, this is a process. You know, where you're at today is not going to be where you're going in the future. So let's just, you know, find something and hold on to it, and continue to grow, continue to challenge yourself, continue to put forth the effort needed for you to get through the day. Because that's if you're able to get through the day every day, you're able to be successful no matter what you do. So, you know, every day I get the opportunity to invest in my kids, I do it. You know, sometimes they might give me the bum lip, oh well, look, it's life, get over it, and let's get back to work. Because I give them choices, and you know, some people, they might look at my methods, they might be like, pick one. What are you doing? You gonna take control, or you gonna give them control? No, I'm gonna show them the right way. Then I'm gonna give them a decision to make. Because at the end of the day, that's the decision. I want them to make the right decision, but I can't do that, and no one can. So it's just teaching them small things like that. Like you have the power to be someone, but what you decide to do with it is going to define who you're going to be. Well, I knew my whole life growing up that was something that, you know, God was calling me to. Didn't know it was Him, just had a feeling. And from, you know, the people that are close to me, that was something that they seen in me and in our family. But it wasn't until I moved to the East Coast is when I really started to believe that purpose for my life. It was like, no matter what I did, what I tried to do, what I did not try to do, I was always gravitating towards young adults, youth, whether on the streets of Baltimore, in my church, on the court, like it was always they wanted to learn from me. And at the time, look, if you ask me a question, I'm gonna give you the answer. And if it's you're serious about wanting to grow, I respect that, because it takes a lot for you to ask for something that you don't have. And when it comes to kids, that's why I love them so much. They can be crazy and wild, and you just want to like crush them up and like eat them, and then not come back. But you can't do that. So you have to find other ways to relate to them. And when they come to you willingly, that's a sign of trust, and that's something you want to respect, you want to be aware of, because at that moment is when change happens, life-changing events. And so I just kind of went with it, and I was like, whatever, what's the worst that can happen? And started to pursue kids, started to kind of surround myself around younger adults, and God just took control, and he's still taking control, and I'm still at an awe, and I'm scared, but at the end of the day, I would rather feel this fear than them miss an opportunity because I didn't act on my purpose. Honestly, I'm still learning those things, but from what I learned through the years, that from my experience, from other coaches, and just from the coaches that coached me growing up, you gotta have a solid core values that I see, that you truly believe in, that no matter what is going on, those core values is what you make your decisions off of. And if you don't, your players, your students, your kids, they're going to see that. They're going to see a person that is untrustworthy, and a lot of times that is all that they're asking for, is to be able to trust this person, be able to trust this person has my well-being. And that's not an easy task, because you have to be consistent, you have to be practically perfect, but we're not perfect, and that's okay, as long as you show them that you're human too, but you still have a responsibility as young people, as women, men, we all have a role to play. So it's about just being honest with them. Not at all. It kind of, I can't even say that it unfolded. It kind of like Big Bang my butt. Like, you guys know what the Big Bang Theory is, the star exploding and the universe getting created. That's what it felt like, because honestly speaking, I was headed towards medical. I was, I understood that I have a service spirit. I enjoy, seeing other people succeed and healthy and happy. And that was an area of my life where I seen I had a big impact. But when things, transition, and I got the opportunity to invest more at a different level, it quickly changed. I wouldn't say it changed anything. I just felt like there was a connection between purpose and my heart, and I couldn't fight it. It was like, looking at everything around it, as adults, pay is very, important in what you do as a profession, but that was something I couldn't consider. It was more like I'm supposed to be here, and if I don't do it, I don't feel like it's going to be done anytime soon. So, not saying that I'm the only person that could have done it. God could choose anybody to get across His purpose, but it was just, I couldn't deny it. If I would have decided to do anything else, I would have been lying to myself for the rest of my life. And I feel like that is a decision I wouldn't want to live with. Again, versus having fear of this new task that's been asked of me. So every day I get surprised, but every day I can say I'm doing what I love. I actually have a couple. It's kind of hard for me to choose a favorite. They all make me proud once they listen and do it the right way. And it's also an amazing feeling for them to see them figure it out at the same time as they're performing that action. But if I can choose one, it would probably that's tough. How about this? Because I don't want my boys to grow up and they be like, it wasn't me, you didn't choose me. But there's one in particular. Like I said, all of them I can't deny. They are grown, they have matured, and they're going to be some dogs in the game of basketball once they get to that level. But one for sure, one of my guys, I feel like he took advantage of my methods and just ran away with them. He's just like, I was like, look, these are the keys, and I felt like he just snatched it and ran. But that's a good thing because he's hungry and he wants to dominate. He told me, I asked him a question, because we're training one hot summer day outside. Double rim. If you're a true baller, you know that double rim heat is for real. But he was outside of his mind, and I'm like, dude, like, you gotta focus. No matter how you feeling right now. Like, I know you're mad at me. You're mad because it's hot. You're mad. I get it. But what are you here for? What is your why? And he told me that he wanted to be the best. Not the best against anybody else, the best that he's ever been. And when I heard that, I'm like, that's it. Because you're never competing against anybody else. You're only competing against yourself. And if you can conquer yourself, nobody can stop you. And he has grown so much. His mechanics, he's starting to really put everything together, and I can't wait to see him in full action, because I know he's going to continue to grow, continue to strive to be the best. And as a coach, as a trainer, that's all that we ask for. If you want to give anybody that's been in your life that coached you or trained you want to kind of show them gratitude, just continue to grow, continue to be your best, and believe it or not, they're going to be satisfied. And that's what it's all about. So those moments can be very tough, but what I try to do is remind the player that not everybody can do what they're doing now. Not everybody can go through my training regimens. They're a little tough. I deal with elementary to middle school level, and they're doing things that high school and college people are doing on the daily. So I get it. I understand when they get that low, but I remind them, yesterday you couldn't make a layup. Today you're working on left-hand layups. Yesterday you wasn't hitting rim. Today you're hitting the bottom of the net. So just like in life, and it's funny to say because this is the lesson I kind of had to embrace today. I was kind of feeling down, kind of feeling out, and I just took some time to reflect on where I'm at. And sometimes you have to remember those moments of when you got over that hump, when you was able to find some way to push through and you made it. That okay, maybe a year ago or a month ago it took me this long to recover from my whatever you're dealing with. Now it only took me 3 days or a day, and you gotta celebrate those wins, because as you grow, those feelings are gonna come. Doubt, fear, feeling you're not enough, and sometimes you just need somebody in your corner to remind you you are growing. You're better than what you started with. And that's all I do, and I continue to encourage them as they go, as they continue to push through, and I give them a decision. Again, what do you want to do? Let me know, because it's not about me, but it's about them. And they show me every time I want to be the best. So as a coach, I will continue to put them through the best.
Footwork. Shooting. Hawks.
Woo! When we get it, like, if we do that, like, no, take it back. I don't like it.